بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. الصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. الله تبارك وتعالى. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. I praise Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. I ask Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala to send countless blessings and salutations on Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his family, his companions, and all those who follow him in excellence until the day of judgment. And I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to endow us and give us a tawfiq to formulate noble intentions. Inshallah tabaraka wa ta'ala, I wanted to continue in my scattered thoughts from yesterday. And inshallah, I can finish today on at least some of what I wanted to talk about. These scattered thoughts are very important to me because in our daily classes, it's very difficult to cover the wide spectrum of things that concern us. So during the classes, I'm mostly focusing on what we religiously need immediately. However, we are confronted with many things that are important as well. They may not be the most pressing thing, however, they are important and they have an impact on the most pressing things. I'm going to say something to you, and it's important, and it relates to why we have to do what we have to do in our studies. Many of us are still slaves and we don't know it. We don't realize it. I'm going to repeat that, and I'm going to leave it flat like that, and then I'll explain. Many of us are still slaves and we don't realize it. Okay, Selena, for good measure, I'll say it again. Many of us are still slaves and we don't realize it. Slavery has many forms. Slavery has many forms. There is the physical slavery, which we all know, and none of us are in that. There is the physical slavery, which all of us know, and we're not in that. Walillahi alhamd. Then another level And there are other levels. There are many levels. I'm just going to mention three. There is the mental slavery, in which physically you are free, but mentally you still have a master and you're still on the plantation. This level is very, very large among us. This level is huge among us. Mentally, they still have a master and they're still on the plantation, mentally. Even though physically they're free, they go about and do whatever they appear to do, whatever they want. But mentally, they have remained in slavery. That's another level. And that level is abundant among us. The other level, the third one, is a religious, spiritual slavery. In other words, we are enslaved by our religious perceptions and spiritual beliefs of the superiority of others. So, through religious manipulation, they enslave us. This one is killing our community. This third level is destroying the African American Muslim community. It is, I would say, our biggest problem. Religious, quote unquote, spiritual enslavement. That third one, I believe, is our biggest problem. I was explaining to someone about the African American Islamic Summit. And while I'm here, let me put the registration information up for it while I'm speaking about it. And it's relating to this third thing. This third one, I was explaining to someone why it is so difficult to do this. It's hard. To put on the African American Islamic Summit is very difficult. Why? Because of that third part. There are outside forces outside the African American Islamic community that control the religious direction of the African American Muslim. And because of that, we cannot work with each other without the permission of someone else. Even if that someone else has absolutely nothing to do with what we're doing, nor is concerned about it. But before we can engage, we must get their permission. They didn't have anything to do with it. But we are so mentally enslaved, we think it's a religious obligation before we can do for ourselves to ensure that someone else is okay with it. Do y'all understand my point? Are y'all following me? I'm not being explicit because it's a general problem. It's not about no individual or no particular people. This is a general problem. It has its specific manifestations, but it's a general problem that we need to overcome. So bringing all of these African American minds, teachers, leaders, professionals, common people in one place to share ideas, to build is extremely difficult. It's extremely difficult. However, though it's extremely difficult, it's absolutely necessary because of what we're talking about right now. So before I was coming in, my brother said something to me. He's a non-Muslim. We talk like all the time. We're very close. May Allah guide him to Islam. So he said to me, we were talking about Islam and then religion in general. And he asked me, is religion fact or opinion? Fact or opinion? I said, it's both. That threw him for a loop. He said, what? I said, it's both. And there's a third element. It's facts with opinions inside of it. Sometimes it's all fact, sometimes it's all opinion, sometimes it's both. And all that makes up what we practice as religion. But in reality, the essence of our deen is all facts. But there are elements by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wisdom that involve opinion. Do y'all understand that? I want to ask a question. Do all of y'all understand that? No, that's a serious question. I want to stop because we are being patrolled by the blasphemy police. So I want you to understand what I'm saying. A lot of times people don't understand and they just go with it. No, do you understand what I said? Okay. So most of you understood what I said or didn't understand? If you understand our deen, then you understand easily. If you don't understand our deen or aspects of the deen you don't understand, then it's going to be kind of, what did he just say? Okay. The essence of our deen in Islam is all facts. What is the essence of our deen? Let's think through this. Come on. What is the essence of our deen? The deen of Islam, what is its essence? Isla, what do you teach the kids in school when you teach? What's the subject when you teach them the difference between fact and opinion? You know how you do those? What they call it? Writing. That's writing. That's in writing. Okay. You teach them how to write an opinion. So that's language. When you language. Okay, reading and writing, language skills. Okay, good. My wife's a teacher, so I was asking her about what I'm getting ready to talk to you about. Because we've been out of school for so long, we forgot basic lessons we learned in third and fourth grade, fifth grade. When do they start teaching kids that? What grade? When do they start teaching them to distinguish between fact and opinion? Third grade. Good. Okay. So no one answered yet. Okay, there you go. The essence of our deen is Al-Quran and As-Sunnah. So everyone, can we copy what Samira put? The essence of our deen is Al-Quran and As-Sunnah. Fatima. So the essence of our deen is Quran and Sunnah. And as Quran and Sunnah, without anything else, our deen is all facts. Do we understand that? At its essence, it's all facts. No doubt. It's revelation from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and it's all facts. No doubt. Now, that's it as its essence. Level number 2, you have to follow this. If you don't follow, just say, I don't follow. Don't make a judgment. Do you got it? My sheikh is even patrolling me, so I got to be very careful. Assalamu alaikum, Sheikhuna Maulana. Right? So follow me. So at its essence, it's all facts. Quran and Sunnah. At its essence, as revelation from Allah. No doubt. Facts and opinions. Our understanding of the Quran and Sunnah. Our understanding. And when I say ours, not us, because we don't count. Our scholars' understanding of the Quran and Sunnah and the way they convey the Quran and Sunnah, is that all facts or some facts and some opinion? Question. Even our great scholars. Is it some facts or some opinions or all facts? Our great scholars. We move past the Quran and the Sunnah. We're talking about our understanding of the Quran and Sunnah. Is that all facts or opinions? Okay. Y'all got it. Now, sometimes the way people explain the religion, now I'm coming to our time, the way they explain the deen, do we not obviously see that sometimes there's no facts, only someone's opinion? Do we not see that? But it's portrayed as religious expression, as a part of our deen. It is nothing but your opinion, has no facts at all. Have you seen that? But it's portrayed as religious rulings, has no facts whatsoever. If we ever did fact checking, we'll see it's not even true. It's just your opinion. Is that true? Now I'm going to ask you a third opinion, a fourth, a question to the third aspect of that. We said all facts, facts and opinion, just opinion. The third aspect, just opinion, couldn't it be right? Doesn't it have the possibility of being correct and false? It is an opinion, but doesn't it bear the possibility of being correct? and being false as well, right? Sometimes you have an opinion, it's really baseless, but it's correct. But not all the time is it. But sometimes it's still right, right? Your opinion, it may not, it should be based on facts, but it may not be. And it still could be possibly correct, but it's still your opinion. You know how I know this is the case? If any of you have ever sat with Sheikh Samir, there is something he says quite often. Let me see how many of you sat with him and pay attention. He'll speak and he'll say a phrase a lot. What is it? That's right. You ain't typing though. What does he say all the time? Right. I may be right. I may be wrong. What is he indicating by that? That this is my view. This is how I see it. This is my view. This is how I see it. And when he says, I may be right, I may be wrong, what he's telling you is that you don't have to accept my opinion. You don't have to accept I may be right, I may be wrong. Whenever we're talking about the deen, we must understand these facts. If we want to avoid being in religious, quote unquote, spiritual slavery. If you ever want to escape the plantation, you need to understand this. Is this point clear? Is this point clear? Not understanding these things will keep you on the religious plantation with a master all the time. Unfortunately, too many of us don't understand this point. Just the point itself, we don't understand. And what makes it worse, we don't understand. Then what's worse than that, we can't even distinguish between the three. So we don't understand, that's bad. But then what's worse than that is that we can't distinguish between those things, and we take everything that is fact, that is opinion, that is mixed with facts, that is just false. We make it all a religious obligation. Do you understand? No, this is serious stuff. I've been thinking about it a lot for a long time. The basis, how we get here, is we never understood Islam correctly in the first place. That's the problem. How did we get to this state of affairs? We never understood Islam properly in the first place. And that's what I said the other day. We don't know as much about Islam as we think we do. All right. Is all of this clear now? Right? Is all of this clear? This is obvious, right? This stuff is obvious when you think about it, right? It's not like complicated. Right? Okay. So do y'all remember the third grade, fourth grade, or whenever you started in your language arts class, reading and writing skills, as my wife just explained to me, when the teacher had you do exercises, usually they were little paragraphs, and then you would have to determine if it was fact or fiction, or fact or opinion, excuse me. sometimes facts and fiction, but then fact or opinion. Do y'all remember those little lessons? You have a little paragraph and it says fact or opinion. And they started with little paragraphs. Then it got bigger and bigger and bigger. Then you have a whole article. And then you have to read the article and distinguish between fact and opinion. Y'all remember that? She said, kind of, huh? Kind of. That was like my worst subject, huh? Allahu Akbar. Right? That skill you learned in third, fourth grade, or whenever you learned it, is extremely important when you're studying Islam to understand the difference. Especially when it becomes a part of your practice. But that skill you learned, we need it right now, and we forgot all about it. And that's why when we read a book, we can't distinguish between fact and opinion. We'll take it as all facts, or some people go to the extreme of taking it as all opinions. And some people realize it's fact and opinion, but can't determine which is which. Right? So I'll give you an example. And I'm going to give you an example. The other day, I told you that someone called me a kafir. Right? Do y'all remember that? The other day? Someone said I was a kafir. They listened to something I said, and they said he's a kafir because of that. Do y'all remember that? Forget who. I didn't tell you who, so that's irrelevant. I want to make a point. That person said I was a kafir. Right? All right. Now, that person who said that took some things that I said that they didn't understand what I was saying, and based on their saying, they considered me a kafir. Right? Later, upon talking to me, that person said, no, you're not a kafir. And if anyone understood that from me, they misunderstood. Whatever. But the point is, then an opinion was cast that wasn't fact at all. An opinion went by as if it was fact, and it wasn't fact at all. Had we had the ability to distinguish between fact and opinion, we would have never, or those who listened to that, would have never been unraveled. That's his opinion. It's not a necessary fact. It could be, and then again, it could not be. Our skill that we need to learn is how to critically think and to distinguish between fact and opinion. That's my point of only bringing it up. Besides the point to bring it up that that person said that we misunderstood and that I am not a kafir. Okay, so we must accept the person's thought, no matter how we feel about it. I'm not a kafir. Okay, great. Barakallahu big. Thank you for bringing me into Islam. Hold on one second. And my brother Tenweer, are you still here? Tenweer, are you still here? I know you're working probably. And I'm only mentioning it because some people didn't get the Tenweer. I'm only mentioning this case because someone didn't get the memo. And yesterday they did a whole lecture about the issue. They didn't get the memo. They should have got the memo, but they didn't. And they did a whole lecture still trying to insinuate that I'm a kafir. Insinuate. They didn't say it directly. So the memo didn't reach everybody. So now I publicly put the memo out. That person who made that judgment in front of me, in front of Tenweer, we were right on the talk discussion. That person said Imam Amin is not a kafir. And he even went to another level. Sheikh Amin is not a kafir. Tenweer, am I right? Because the memo didn't reach everybody. So I'm making sure it reaches everybody because they're listening. No more than that, Tenweer. Am I correct? And Tenweer will tell you he was right there. Yes, that was what's said. So now everyone heard the memo. Right? Sometimes the memo don't reach everybody. And they still going with the old email. But that's all my point is. But don't deviate. Understanding fact and opinion would have clarified that easily. Is that an actual fact or is that an opinion? Even though it's a judgment, the judgment is there. Okay, is that judgment facts or opinion? Do y'all follow my point? Don't concentrate on that other thing. I was mentioning that just to give you an example. How dangerous the example could be, because that's a dangerous one. But if you distinguish between fact and opinion, then you won't go running. I hope y'all following this. It seems I cannot get past even my first point because there's so much. So our job in the deen is to distinguish between religious facts and personal or group opinions in order that we won't fall into religious slavery, religious manipulation, spiritual manipulation, if we follow the facts and we know how to discover the facts. That's a skill we need to learn. Y'all follow me? It's my scattered thoughts. So you can, but I think it's very important. I think it's extremely important that we understand this. Allah. Y'all with me? Any questions quickly about what I covered? I still have a half an hour because I was late. I don't know. How many of you read like new lexicons or dictionaries and stuff? How many of you read like new versions that come out? I just had a question came to my mind. Do any of y'all read like, keep up with new definitions and new words that they add to the dictionaries and encyclopedias and stuff? Does anyone keep up with that stuff? In our community, we use words so much that they're understood, and they may have initially been wrong, but because we use them so much, they become a part of the language. Every language is like that. Language develops. So I was just thinking, this is just my side thought. And I'm wondering, So maybe someone smart that can answer it. Because, black folks, we say cause, right? Cause, and we leave the B out. Did that become standard English yet? Because people do it all the time, especially in our community. Did that become a standard acceptable expression yet? Wait a minute. They differ. Y'all got a difference of opinion here. Some said no. Some said need to start. Some said yes. Which one? Oh my goodness. See, we have one going on in my house. As always, there's the discussion of my English language skills. And my thing is, did you understand? Yes, okay, it's valid language. Language is to communicate ideas. If you understood what I was saying by the words I used, then it was effective. And it works, and it's valid language. We have this argument all the time. That's not English. It's Amin's English, and it's a valid language. And I said it. Did you understand what I was saying? Yes. Good. It's a valid language. That's just me playing around. Now, is that facts or opinion? It's my facts, even if you think it's an opinion. Allahu Akbar. That's why I tell him, Anissa, facts. All right. Uh, so, oh, word, Samira, did you just do research checking facts? You said cause is in the dictionary. Is that what that means? Is that what you're talking about? Just for curiosity, it's my scattered thoughts, so it's scattered. It go all over the place. Did you say that, Samira, that cause is in the dictionary? Is that what you're saying? Ha! What do you got to say about that? Miss Muhammad is in the dictionary. And I'm right. Facts. Yes, as a cinnamon. 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 What's how you say that? Synonym. Yeah. Man, my English is shot. That's why I have my own language. Shot in Arabic, shot in English. I just make my own language. Long as I get the point across. We do need language skills. That's important. All of us. We need to work on our language skills. But some people are good in language, but they don't know how to communicate. Did you hear what I just said? Some people are excellent in language, but they don't know how to communicate. And some of us are horrible in language, but we know how to communicate. Is that facts or opinion? Is that a fact or opinion? Some of us are excellent in language, but we don't know how to communicate. And some of us are poor in language, but we know are very effective in communication. Is that a fact or opinion? And what is more important? Proper language or uh, or effective communication? Proper language or effective communication? Which one is more important? I ain't say I said they both important. Which one is more important? They're both important. I agree. But what is more important? Would you rather me just give you a nice piece of language, or would you rather make you understand? Which one would you prefer? Because I could give you, not me, I don't have that skill, but someone can give you a nice linguistic masterpiece, but you won't understand any of it. So, and then someone can not be so good in the language, but you fully understand everything. So, Isla, by consensus, I win this debate. So take you and your language and go tell it to the kids. I'm an adult. Right? Stop. I'm just having fun. Don't pay me no attention. We have to relax. But we're learning in the same process, right? You're getting the point, right? You're getting the point. uh, we're just having fun. Don't worry about it. So my point here, after the fun, my point is when we study, it is important for us to distinguish between fact which contains opinion, and opinion. Can we put that up? We must learn to religiously distinguish between fact and opinion. I know that's a lot. So we can summarize. We must learn, and we're talking about religiously, in life in general, but we're talking about religiously specifically in this case, to distinguish between fact slash opinion, and opinion. No, I want you to put it, all of it, Fatima, inshallah. We must learn to distinguish between comma, fact slash opinion, comma, and opinion. There we go. No, okay, I think that's it. Right, y'all got it? There you go. This one looks better. Yes. Nope, that's wrong too, since we being technical. No one got it right yet? La ilaha illallah. Oh, there you go. Let's see. Uh, no. No one got it yet? Close. These are all close, but no one got it right so far I can see, since we're having fun. Samira is close with one mistake. You're missing a comma after fact slash opinion. I'm playing grammar police. And then someone's going to come and correct my grammar. So fact slash opinion, comma, and opinion, period. We're having fun. Don't worry. Since y'all want to mess with my grammar, I'm going to mess with y'all grammar too. Oh man, let me get the real smart people out here. Now, y'all got the point. I'm not going to have too much fun with that. The second is not necessary. All right, we got to go to the grammar police, Haja Stacy. They say it's necessary. Uh-oh. Okay. We're just having fun. Don't worry about it. Don't take it personal. Y'all know me. I like to have fun. So we're going to learn, right? So we all got the point, though, right? Whether we dispute about the grammar of it, we all know what we're talking about. Did we communicate with each other? Did we communicate with each other? Did we get that part across? Even though we differ in our opinions about the grammar of it. She said my brain shells are speaking. All right, so more important is the effective communication, right? Good. I'm just having fun at this point because you got the point. I know you got the point. So now we're just enjoying each other, right? It doesn't have to be extremely boring to be educational. We're all learning, right? Said, but a comma is bitter. Y'all didn't catch that. Did y'all catch that? Oh, that's funny, Imam Naeem. Did y'all catch that? Did y'all? That's why he's a genius. Did y'all catch that? Let me see who caught that. Imam Naeem, you're a genius. Boy, I'm telling you, Imam Genius is a perfect title for you. Did y'all catch what he meant by that's sarcasm, but truth? He's being sarcastic, but he's also telling facts. Do y'all catch it? Did y'all catch that? Let me see someone get the. He refuted someone. He stated a fact and something that we wasn't even talking about. Man, he's a genius. Boy, damn, good. That's why you're a genius. He refuted someone, established a fact, and we wasn't even talking about none of that. Man, that boy's good. No, not that it's not used in Arabic. It is used in Arabic. Man, there you go. That's it. Originally, the Prophet didn't use commas. The Arabic language, they wasn't using commas originally. That was added later, since he said it's a bid'ah. And where was he being sarcastic? He was refuting someone being sarcastic. That boy's good. Y'all need to appreciate the genius. And he did a refutation all in one line. That guy's good. He's real good. All right, I surrender, Imam Naeem. You are the master. Allahu Akbar. Oh, man. Man, that was powerful. I got to hang out with you more often. Wow, that was powerful. Okay, so let me get back to my point, right? That one just, I don't know. I don't even know what to say after that. That's called understanding this deen. Imam Genius, what you just did is called understanding the deen. And when you understand the deen, you can apply it to every aspect, every facet of life. That's what he just did. That guy's good. He's good. Man, he's good. Mm-mm-mm. That was good. Okay. Can we all give a mental round of applause for Imam Genius? He just came and stole my show with one line. Man, that was good. Okay. So now my point in closing. Because this is one point. In order for us as a people, to truly understand this deen, we have to learn to critically think and evaluate and examine information. In order for us as a people, and it's general for everybody, but it's specifically, I'm talking to us too, and anyone who's similar to us, we have to learn to critically think, evaluate, and examine information. To distinguish between fact/opinion, and opinion. It's extremely important. We're obligated to follow the facts. And we must realize, to understand the facts, we must appreciate sometimes opinion. And then we must avoid ever making opinion the fact. Did y'all follow that? We must always follow facts. We must appreciate when opinion helps us understand the facts. And then we must understand that when there's opinion, we're not obligated to follow that. That's the lesson. And in order to determine those differences, you have to be critical in your thinking. You have to examine things. You have to evaluate things. That's a tool you cannot afford to let go. And physical slavery, mental slavery, religious, spiritual slavery will not allow you to do that. It's prohibited in any of the three categories. Physical slavery, you can't do that. Mental slavery, you can't do that. Religious and spiritual slavery, you can't do that. All right, let me take the question. I'm going to take your question, sweetie. 1 second. Barakallahu bikum. Does everyone understand what I just said? Is it clear? The lesson. Is the lesson clear? With all that, I said all that to say this. Is it clear? It's clear for everyone. Y'all sure? You sure I didn't commit kufr? That's sarcasm. And I'll be sarcastic for a reason, to tell you how ridiculous it is to just utter someone's a kafir. It's ridiculous. Don't rush. Okay. Good one, Haja Stacy. How do we approach this change in learning to our seniors in the community who have decades-long heart connections with those who champion our collective spiritual slavery? I'm not going to read into your question. I think I understand what you're saying. So I'm not going to read into your question what I believe you're saying. I'm going to just read the question as it is. How do we approach this change in learning to our seniors, which is a respectful way to point to a specific group of people, from what I understand? Just answer that question. Don't have to say who. Am I correct? When you said in learning to our seniors, you're speaking about a specific group of people in a nice way so that it's not offensive. Am I right? Because if I'm wrong, then I'm going to misunderstand your question. I'm not asking you to clarify who you're talking about, but you are talking about something specific. Am I right or wrong? Because it's going to determine how I answer the question. A dab attempt, yes. See, I'm following you. We here, Hawk. That's called critical thinking. I didn't just take your question and not understand it has a context. It has a context. I understand that, and you're doing a good job with your edit. Communicate it. If I listened to your words, I would have been lost. But since I already understood you were trying to communicate of something in the best way, I got it. I received it, despite your advanced language skills. Stop. Good. So the question again, how do we approach this change in learning to our seniors in the community who have decades-long heart connection to those who champion our collective spiritual slavery? By understanding the fact that there's a heart connection. A heart connection entails emotion. So that heart connection is also emotional connection. And when emotion overwhelms the human being, they're no longer able to critically think. Did you follow me? So when you said a long heart connection, you should understand that that's an emotional connection. And when emotion takes over, the human being is no longer able to critically think. Are you following me? So it is extremely important when you're dealing with such a person, you keep that in your mind at the forefront while you're explaining facts to them. And you make those facts as emotionally acceptable as possible within the context of the understanding of that individual. Did you follow all that? That's how you approach it. Do you need an analogy to make it clear? Or you got the point? So you must be extremely sensitive to the emotional attachment to an idea, an analogy. Someone's being abused. The person being abused usually stays in that abusive relationship because they see a benefit for themselves. And they're emotionally attached to that benefit. Is that correct? In general, I'm not saying in every case. A person would be abused and they would stay in that abusive situation due to an emotional attachment to some benefit they see within that situation. Would that be fairly generally correct? That's a question. Because this is my opinion. And it may be a fact, but it is my opinion. I may be right, I may be wrong. But this is me critically thinking my way through the situation. How many of y'all agree with me? Okay, so you generally agree. So when you're talking or dealing with such a person, as an imam, we deal with it all the time, right? 1 second. Give me 1 second, Mr. Councilman, I'll call you back. So let's go to this situation. That one who has championed our collective spiritual slavery has some benefit from that senior whose heart is connected to that. There was a benefit they saw. They saw my condition was this. When this individual or this group came, they took me from this condition to that condition. And I'm benefited from that condition. So because I'm emotionally attached to that benefit, I ignore the other things of abuse. Do you get my point? I was in this state, or we were in this state. That group or that individual brought us to this state. which put us outwardly better than the state we were in. We became emotionally attached to that state and we forgot all about the harm. Do you get it? So the harm is there. You're coming to identify the harm, but you forgot about the benefit that I'm emotionally attached to, and you didn't address that. You follow me? Now let me take it a step further. How we can help further that spiritual slavery. Because we'll dismiss that benefit as if it was non-existent and only concentrate on the abuse. And therefore, when they look at us, they don't see the same benefit, even though they don't see that abuse either. But the benefit that they're emotionally attached to is deficient in us, if you got my insinuation. Did you get it? We're coming to them talking about the collective spiritual slavery from that route. We forget about the benefit that they're emotionally attached to. When they look at us, they don't even see that benefit that they're emotionally attached to. Matter of fact, it's absent. But even though we don't have the same thing that led to spiritual slavery, we're missing the emotional benefit. Did you catch it? That's my Imam genius one. If you caught what I'm saying, you can identify it. Is it clear? That's my problem with us. And I'm us. That's my problem with us. And I'm us. I'm also them. So I understand where they're coming from. Our job is to collectively, critically think our way out of the situation. If you got it. This is called communication, bro. It ain't all about language. We connecting? You got what I'm saying? They're not rejecting what you're saying. They're rejecting the absence of that emotional benefit that they're attached to that keeps them in spiritual slavery. If you fix the deficiencies we have, in relation to that thing that they're emotionally attached to, we change the whole game. Do you got it? Even though they were slaves to an ideology, they were free as a people. Now we're free in an ideology, but slaves as a people. I'll repeat that. Even though they were slaves to an ideology, they were free as a people. Now we become free into it as far as the ideology, but slaves as a people. Now you got it? So much so that we can't even recognize we are people anymore. So much so that we can't even recognize that we are people anymore. Water, good. Now you know why we need the African American Summit. I think from all this, y'all got why we need the African American Summit, right? We got some deep stuff to deal with. Now you see why we need the African American Islamic Summit. Would all of you agree we absolutely need the African American Islamic Summit? Would you agree? That's why we're having this. We in trouble. And if we don't start addressing all of this trauma that we got going on, we in trouble, bro. We in trouble. We in serious trouble. And we can't apologize to no one for trying to get ourselves together. we got serious, deep things that we need to fix. You always there, man. CD, all you gotta do is be there. Oh, I got a job for you. Thanks. Are you free for the summit? I have a job for you. Send me a text and I'll talk to Sheikh as well. I got a job for you. Perfect. MashaAllah. Thank you. You just rescued us. Allahu Akbar. I have the job for you for the summit. Please contact me. Make sure I got your number. Barakallahu bikum. Wow. MashaAllah. Right on time. Perfect. Perfect. Barakallahu bikum. Man, Allah is good. Subhanallah. He's always right on time. Just when you need, Allah sends. There's signs. We should read the signs. Subhanallah. So there's the registration. If you want to register, there it is for the summit. But do me a favor, spread the flyer. Put the flyer on your page daily. Put it out. It's only a minute. Put it out, right? Register. Because we need family time. This is our family time. This is our family time. And we need to dig deep. We need to get to know one another. We need to really, 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 really build our communities. And there's a lot of steps to this. This is just one of many that we have to take. But we have to be able to have real conversations, you know? So I want to double the attendees from last year. Last year, we were roughly around 200 people. I want to go at least 400 this year. Help me. Spread it out. And we've reached people, and it lasts all year from year, every day. We've been going and building and learning and visiting. So it's been good. I want to double it, inshallah, this year. I want to go from 200 to 400. But I need your help. So I need you to spread it. I need you to share the link in your areas, because Facebook and social media has a way of controlling how information gets out. So it's your job to make sure everyone knows about it. Because we always, like last year, I didn't know. Yeah, we put it out, but I didn't know. I understand, because everyone is not connected. So that's why I say share, share, share. So while we at it right now, let's all do a job. Please share this session. Down. Right? So if everyone does it, with all these numbers, we double the access. If everyone shares with all these numbers, we reach the numbers we're trying to reach. If everyone just do that, share, share, share. Put the flyer on your page. Right? So I have to stop. I have a bunch of points that in my scattered thoughts, but I only did one of them. So we ain't gonna do it every day. So we're gonna get back to class. So tomorrow, we're back in our book, Realities of Sufism. But did y'all find these scattered thoughts over the last 2 days beneficial? Yes or no? You can be honest. I won't be offended. Maybe you didn't benefit at all, and you're like, why you waste my time? But did you benefit? Did you learn anything? Good. My apologies. I'm no Imam genius. That's a very tall feat, accomplishment. But I'm trying. I stay in his company. I talk to him on the side. I'm a little bit is pouring down. Inshallah, Allah will make me like Imam Genius one day. He's good. He's real good. What was that? That was Samira. What was that movie? The Eddie Murphy movie. Wasn't that where he said, man, that boy good, or something like that? Was that Coming to America? Was that it? You remember that line that was in the barbershop or something? That boy is good. Like, that's what was on my mind when Imam Naeem put that out there. Yeah, coming to America. That line, that came to my mind when I saw him do that. I was like, man, that boy is good. He reminded me of the Martin Luther King. All right, Barakallahu Fikum, man. Allah reward you. Tonight, critically thinking. Because at the time of war, sometimes you have casualties, right? And we were in the beginning of a war, and I think I shot some people, and I didn't mean to, but we at war. So I want to apologize to anyone who, when the verdict of blasphemy came out towards me, I responded with some shots of my own, right? And I didn't want you to misunderstand. Follow me. So tonight, Sheikh Yahya is teaching a book, The Straight Path. This is us. Now listen to me clearly. All right, y'all ready? This is important what I'm getting ready to say. Because the Shaitan tries to divide and conquer. We can never let that happen. Shaitan can we write that? Shaitan loves to divide and conquer. I'm sorry, I just got to get this point across because it's very important. Shaitan loves to divide and conquer. Can we put that up? And everyone put it. Shaitan loves to divide and conquer. Can we all copy that and put it up? It's very important for what I'm getting ready to say. And it relates to the lesson. Okay. Why? Come on. It was so many of us in here. I know some of us can't, but even those on Facebook or YouTube, man, we need y'all to participate, right? I'm telling you, so many people, y'all don't know how many people's listening to us. Because you don't participate, let me tell you the nature of Black folks. We like where the party's jumping off at. The more they see, the more people will come. That's how we are. So your participation is very important. They don't realize how many people I do because I see it. I'm behind the scenes. But it is important to realize how many of us are daily learning and supporting what we're doing. By you commenting, it increases the emotional attachment to people to learning. I'm telling you, that has effect. We're an emotional people, right? So Shaitan loves to divide and conquer, which means if he can start a fight between us and stay on the outside and destroy what we're doing, he will do it. He would love to throw the stones or they're stones, they're not even rocks. Throw the stones and hide his hands. And then let us fight over who threw the stone when it wasn't us at all. We both got hit with the stones. Do y'all follow that? He'll throw the stones, hide his hands, let us fight over who threw the stones, and we both was the ones who got hit. Did y'all follow that? We got to be careful of that. That happens to Black folks all the time. We have to be extremely careful of that. It happens to us all the time. So I mentioned when the stones were thrown, I mentioned Sheikh Yahya, whom I love, Hafidhullah. But I mentioned, because the stones were being thrown, the book he's teaching. And be careful. And I know the game of throwing stones, which could ruin our relationship. I'm aware of that. And I actually talked to him about it. I said, listen, we brothers, don't let nobody come between us. And we had that talk. I'm trusting you as a brother. Don't betray that trust. I'm trusting you as a brother. Don't betray that trust for nobody. Right? So I told you about a book he's teaching. I personally support that book. I support that book personally. I agree with the book personally. I teach the book personally. In fact, I'm going to teach it again after him to show you how much I appreciate that book. When he finished, I'm going to do it to show you how much I appreciate that book. However, at the same time, while reading that book and any other book, it is obligatory upon us for our own salvation and freedom to critically think, to discover fact/opinion, and opinion in any book. And we reserve that right for ourselves. Do y'all follow me? Do y'all follow me? Do you follow me? No, it's very important that you follow me. We're nobody's slave. From this side or this side, we are free people who have the right to determine our own practice, our own understanding, and our own upliftment and empowerment. And nobody's going to take that from us, from this side or from that side. We have to be determined about that. Do y'all follow me? Even if it costs us our lives, we have to be determined to have our independence. Do y'all follow me? I mean it. So no one will use information to control us. Information is our key to our freedom, no matter who possesses it. Do y'all got it? No matter who possesses it, facts are the key to our freedom as a people. Whoever has it, we going to get it and bring it back to build our people, period. Whoever has it, we're going to get it and bring it back to build our people. Do y'all understand that? Is everyone with me? Are y'all following me? Because the game is this. Let me give you a little game, how this works. People control us through information that we don't have access to. And then they say, and only way you can get this if you give us your freedom. They have facts. It's true. But we don't have access to it. And they say, and they act as, even if they don't say it, the state says it, in order for you to get these facts, you have to become our slave. And we have to reject that. No, we take in the facts and we don't care about you talking about your slavery. No, we're taking the facts and we don't care about your slavery. Y'all with me? Do y'all? That's on both sides. I'm not talking about, listen, that is what's done to us all the time. If we get this point, we'll be a free people. Every people on the face of the earth understand this fact except African Americans. Every nation, the Chinese, the Africans, the Arabs, the white people, the Asians, everyone understands this. Go get the information, determine fact between fact and opinion, bring it back, build your nation. We the only ones that don't understand that. We the only ones say, if I go to this place to learn, I got to become like them. Or I haven't learned. No, I can learn and be myself, and I'm going to take that knowledge and go back and build my people. We fail to do that. That's what we have to do. So sometimes we're going to have to go to someone whom we know is trying to harm us, to get information, to build ourselves up, to protect ourselves from that exact harm, no matter where it's coming from. Do y'all got that point? I hope you understand where I'm going with this, because it's important to understand, but we don't understand that. And that's why we stay as slaves in the form of free people. That's why we remain as slaves in the form of free people. And our condition never changes because we don't have this point well. So we have to understand this. We're after truth. We're after facts. Facts come from all over the place. Sometimes facts are discovered by way of opinions. And then sometimes it's just opinions we got to reject and still pull out the facts. Because it been mixed. We want to pull out the facts. That's opinion. Put that to the side. We learned that in third grade, fourth grade. We know what to do. And let's move back and build our nation. Do y'all got me? With that understanding, we can read anything we need to read. We can study with whoever we want to study with. It doesn't matter because we have the tools to extract facts, and that's what we're after. There you go, and that's where we're at. That would mean we become their intellectual equals. I agree. Tanweer, are you still here? You said something that bombed me out yet the other day. It was so powerful. I want to close with it. You know, I'm always supposed to close and it go 3 hours, me supposed to close. And lastly, in conclusion, don't never pay attention when I say that. I'm just talking because I'm going to keep going and keep, because I have a lot. I have a lot of stuff to give. We just don't have the time. I'm going to die with a bunch of stuff to give. Because experience teach you stuff, and you learn, and you develop, and you evaluate, and you review, and you retract, and you add. Yeah, that's life. Tanweer, are you still with us? I want to give you your flowers while you're alive. Is Tanweer still here? Or Mr. Charlie got you by the neck? Wait a minute. Mr. Charlie never got me by my neck. I'm Mr. Charlie. Tanweer said something the other day, and he's our elder, and it was so powerful. I don't even know if he realized the impact that statement had on me. He said he was talking to somebody. He said, "You may know more than me. That doesn't mean you're smarter than me." Drop the mic. Can y'all type that up? You may know more than me. That doesn't mean that you're smarter than me. Man, that was powerful. That was a mic drop. Tanweer said that. Our elder, Master Tanweer. He said, you may know more than me, but that doesn't mean that you're smarter than me. Can we put that up? Can everyone copy that? That should be our national anthem in seeking knowledge. You may know more than me, but that don't mean, or that doesn't mean, or that don't make you smarter than me. The meaning. Let me see this one. Hold on 1 second. Yes, I'm sorry. I'm overtime and stuff is coming in. But I just want to get that point. So for us, let's keep that. We're going to have to go learn from people, right? They got access to they have access to information we don't have. So we're going to go learn from them. And we're always going to do that. That doesn't mean we surrender to them. That doesn't mean that we're not smarter than them. Once we get the information, maybe we'll do more with it, right? So we don't have to subjugate ourselves to them to get information. We can still be free. And we don't have to feel that because they have knowledge that we don't have, that they're farther than us in the terms of intelligence. No, they just have access that we don't have. I'm going to close, and I promise I'm going to close with this. I'm going to tell you a story real quick. I just got a call about something, and I'm going to share it. It's unique to the story, right? I promise I'm going to close after this. I'm done. The former prosecutor for our county, Atlantic County, was a classmate of mine in school. We played sports together, anything. He became the head prosecutor, state county prosecutor, right? He was in charge. So we grew up together. He came from an affluent neighborhood, mother and father in his house. Father was a good, I think, fire chief or something, like a good family in the good neighborhood. I come from the projects, single parent home in the hood, right? But we went to school together. In class, I was always smarter than him, right? In sports, I was always better than him. Like, that was in the classroom, I would dust him any day. And we went to school together, right? But I grew up in the projects. He grew up in the nice area with the whole stuff. So our circumstances are totally different. This is him telling the story. He said, so we have a major meeting with all law enforcement, state officials, everyone. We all gathering together in the masjid, talking about community issues. We have that. So when he talks, he says, y'all don't know Imam Amin. Let me tell you this story. Because he's the prosecutor. So we're talking about fighting crime and helping the community, right? He says, let me tell you about Imam Amin. He said, I could be Imam Amin and Imam Amin could be me. The only difference is the supporting cast that he had and the supporting cast that I had. When we were coming up, he used to outdo me in everything. But he lived in the hood where crime was abundant And he found himself in that world, and he had to take a certain path. I was in another environment where people were becoming doctors and lawyers and college, and I took that path. He didn't have access to my path, and I wasn't exposed to his path. But in terms of our ability, as you can see, there's a distinct difference. That was him saying that. And those folks, especially the white folks, they were looking like, huh? He said that. That was him. I wasn't talking. He was talking. And I say this, let's take that analogy. That's what he said. Imagine us if we're giving access to Islamic knowledge, scholarship, chains of narration. All those things are given to us. Isn't it possible that we would excel most of the people who possess it right now? Isn't that possible? That we would excel most of the people who have it right now. We do it in sports all the time, don't we? We do it in music all the time. You mean to tell me we can't do it in education? We do it all the time. Our objective is to get that knowledge to bring out our true potential. That's our objective, to get that knowledge and bring out our true potential as a people. Y'all with me? Y'all ready to take this journey? Are y'all ready to do this work? Y'all ready to do the work? Let's get busy. So the class is important. The information is important. All that stuff we must do. But at the same time, declaring our right to be an independent people is also important and absolutely necessary. Declaring our right to be an independent people is extremely important and absolutely necessary. Barakallahu fikum. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. We'll see you tonight at 7:30 with Sheikh Yahya. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.